everybody, back in the chair. Before I start answering the questions which I've got here, I'm going to just have a quick word about a week on Sunday, Croydon. I've got a weapon here. Now this weapon I intend to use on our Sanjay. And what he said is he's going to go home with my mask, but I'm going to go home with his hair. Because if he doesn't take the mask, I'm having the hair. There's the weapon. Let's see how he gets out of that one. Because I'm coming from more way than one. I'm going to beat him and scalp him. So try and be there. It's going to be fun and games. And now to other business, which really is the questions. The questions for today. I've got a question here from John Porter. Did you ever meet or know anything about Bert Azerati? He always seemed to be mentioned a lot by people in the past. I see Billy Robinson talks about him in an interview. Also, Carl Gotch. Did you ever meet him? I think that's what it really means. So let's try and deal with that question. No, I never met Bert Azerati. I heard lots of tales about Bert. Because I came in just at the end of, I think Bert had been out of the job probably 18 months to 2 years when I came in, but he was right at the end of his professional career, really, and his active career. He'd faded away. But one of the stories I'd hear about him, when he went to Aberdeen, and he was on with Mike Marino. Now, they're both Italian, aren't they? So they go on together, and they're in the ring, and they do. And Bert, because Mike's Italian, and this is when Mike was much young, a lot younger than when he wrestled me. We're talking probably 10, 15 years before I came in the business. They're wrestling away, and the audience suddenly think, well, Bert's not his normal self. So somebody shouts from the audience, come on, Chico, stop playing around with him. Chico means Bert, of course, doesn't it? I am told that Bert set about our friend Mike with a real vicious streak in him. He beat the living daylights out of him. I am told that Mike got 2 cauliflower ears on that night, came out of the ring and didn't know where he was for 3 days. Now, that was a tale that was told quite a lot around the business when I was in it. So that gives you some idea what people, when I came into business, thought about Bert Azerati. Jeff also used to tell us a tale about Bert during the war. Said Bert rode a motorbike. One day, he falls off this motorbike and didn't wear a crash helmet, of course. It's some sort of edge or a wall or something, head first. And when they came to look at him, the doctors, whoever dealt with him, said if it had been a normal man, it would have killed him. His skull was at least 2.5 times thicker than a normal skull. I think that might be a bit apocryphal, but that's the sort of stories that went around about our Bert. He was a freak, really. He was short, he was as wide as he was tall, and he was an acrobat because he could do flips. I'm told he could do backflips with 50-pound weights in each hand. So he's an unusual individual, but I never met him. The next question is from Tom Hamer. Do you regret hurting the fan who you hospitalised? That was at Hanley, by the way, and our friend Les Kellett tells the story, doesn't he? Well, basically, until Les told the story, I didn't remember it that well, but I do have some recollection of it. No, I don't regret doing it. I don't, if they mess around with you in the ring, they're entitled to get a smack, aren't they? In my opinion. Should keep themselves to themselves. The other part of this question is, when you had your match with Ace Stacks in 91, was it scripted to hit him with the bell? Well, no, it wasn't scripted. He was on the table and there was the bell. So I thought, well, I know what I'll do with that. So I smacked him with it. No, it wasn't scripted. And afterwards, he was a bit grumpy about it. He said, I'd bruised him. I intended to, actually. Bit of revenge. Right, the next one is from Timothy Cross. You often run about with a kamikaze crash. Audience were quite thrilled by that. Well, it was breathtaking. How did you think of this move and how did you perfect it? Did you ever cause injury to yourself or your opponent? Right. Well, the kamikaze crash came about really right early on when I used to work for Jack. I used to do an aeroplane spin where you get a person across your shoulder, spin round, you stop and you plonk them on the mat like that. I'll just diverse just a little bit from the aeroplane spin. Because one night when I'm in a tag match with Count Bartelli, I've mentioned him before, haven't I? He's on my side. I'm in the ring with our friend, the Polish Eagle, Johnny Cheslow, and the talkative guy, Brian Glover, who wrestled as Leon Harris. So we're doing this match together, right? So my finish is airplane spin. Or at least I'm doing that and I'm going to get a fall from it. So I'll get him up in the air, I spin him around, and I thought, I'm quite a strong individual. And instead of stopping and slamming him like that, I just shoved him up in the air and walked away. Well, it seemed that he just didn't know where he was. And he came down a bit like a leaf might come down. A lot quicker than that, though. Went straight onto his canister. That's his head, by the way. And when he got up, you could see this visible lump starting to throb on his head. And he ran off. He ran back to the dressing room. And he was screaming in a Polish accent, he tries to kill me, he tries to kill me. He left the ring. Lou Roseberry was the referee. So Lou goes after, for a while, we beat it a while, it wasn't that quick. We were sort of thinking, where's he gone? Is he coming back? Leon Harris doesn't want to get in the ring because he's seen this stupidity going on. So eventually Lou decides he'll go and find out where our man is. And he comes back and he says he's not coming back. He feels quite dizzy in the dressing room. So he says Leon Harris has got to get in the ring with me. Well, Leon Harris, being the comedian that he is, he does get in the ring with me. He walks over to me, raises my hand like that, and in that accent, too strong for me, referee, the winner. And he buggered off as well. So I was standing in the middle of the ring with the referee and myself and Bartelli on the apron, and it's all over. It's all over. I think it was we did about 10 minutes, and I've lost the two of them. Anyway, there was a lot of complaints about that, I can tell you. I mean, our Polish Eagle was not very happy about it, but Brian Glover thought it was very funny. Because he did have a sense of humour, I've told you that before. But once, as I told you on the last one, it got him into trouble. So that's really building this thing up. I'm doing this aeroplane spin. So I'll go back to how the kamikaze crash comes into being. I used to do this aeroplane spin, and Jack, I think, used to count how many times went round. He could tell me how many times went round. He would say, did so last night, Kendo. See if you can get an extra one in tonight. So I'm going in there, 10, 15 spins, whatever it might be. In those days, I was a bit of a ballerina, so I could go round. So round and round I go. And this particular night, for some reason, the canvas wasn't very tight on the mat. And I got my foot trapped in it. And I lost my balance. But instead of falling flat on my face and everything, I sort of gained my balance and I went over. But the man was still on my shoulders. I forget who it was, to be honest. But I went over and he landed underneath me, and I hit him and bounced off. And he lay there, and the referee put the count on, and he lay there, the referee put the count on. In the end, the referee counted him out. We hadn't arranged that to happen. I was supposed to do this aeroplane spin, slam him, and then pin him. But it didn't go that way. And Jack Allen said, By gum, that's a good one, lad. Keep that in the act. So I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. I was a bit worried that because it's done by accident, so it wasn't by design. So I had to sort of perfect that a little bit and get it right. But eventually I did get it right. Now, you've also asked me, did I ever hurt anybody or hurt myself? Well, I had one or two complaints early on about it being a very heavy bump. And as I've explained in a previous video, that a lot of that is to do with the guy that's having it done to him. Because if he grabs you like that, and you jump in the air with him on your back, he goes down and drags you on top of him because you can't get away. If he'll be loose and not grab you tight, you can hit him, but it's quite hard still, but it's not devastating. So you bump, and then you can come up onto your feet, and so that's not as bad as the full weight hitting them. But if it's an heavy bump for them, it's also an heavy bump for you, because not only did it drag you themselves into the mat, you on top, but they drag you in, and you end up your head going just in front of them. And that hits the mat as well, so it hurts your neck. So it can be quite. I won't use the word dangerous, but it can be a bit heavy if it isn't done properly. And a lot of it does depend on the man that's on your shoulders. He's got to let go. He's got to, don't hang on, because if you hang on, we're all in trouble. So that really answers that question, doesn't it? Sorry I diverted a little bit, but I thought you might find it interesting. Right, here we go. Number 4. Peter Barber, how do you feel under the mask? Was it hot? Oh, yes, it is quite hot. But you get used to it, don't you? You get really used to it. Yeah. And did I wear the mask before I got to the venue and went away from the venue? Well, that also blends into the next question, which I'll read to you. During your travels, were you ever stopped by the police in order to remove your mask? Let's deal with those two. Yes, I did put the mask on before I arrived at a venue, and sometimes a couple of miles or before I got there, because I was very self-conscious about punters planning being on the way to try and spot me coming up, because they knew what my car looked like, didn't they? Because I used the same car quite regularly, the same car. They got to know what car I was driving. So they might be planting themselves on a route and think they could spot me. So I used to put it on very early. And I always had the mask on when I left the venue and kept it on until I was absolutely certain there was nobody following me. I could keep it on sometimes, 5 miles. I'm in a car, I'm safe, and I can drive it. It doesn't stop my vision. Anyway, one night, I've been at Liverpool Stadium. I'm driving out of Liverpool Stadium. I'm just going past the front of the big train station there, and I get the police car. They don't go doo-dah, doo-dah then. There's a bell, I think. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. This police car comes in front of me, and let's call him a copper, shall I? Jumps out of the front seat. I think he was out of the passenger seat. Don't think the driver got out. Came back, and he said, wind the window down. So I wound the window. I've still got the mask on, haven't I? He said, what's with the mask? And I said, I've been wrestling. He said, wrestling? Liverpool Stadium. Oh, right, he said. Let's have a look then. Take it off. So I had to take it off, didn't I? Right outside the bloody train station in front of the policeman. And he said, oh, right, OK, off you go. That was it. So, yes, I did get stopped by the police. Didn't make any fuss about it. Now, whether he'd planned that or not, I don't know. He might have done. He might have been a bloody fan for all I know. But he was quite nice about it and then just let me go. But that was the only time I ever got stopped by anybody in authority. I had lots of people chasing me, trying to catch me, but never by the authorities again. That one incident. And that would be very early on in my career, probably 12 months into it, 12 to 18 months into it, right in front of the bloody train station as well. Plenty of lights there. So that's the answer to that one. Right, the last question for this particular session is about Kent Walton. Did you have any communication with Kent Walton? Did you speak to him? because Kent Walton said he knew nothing about you. And it's Stephen Johnson who's asked the question. Well, Stephen, I did have very, very little communication with Kent Walton. And what he knew about me was what everybody else knew about me. I never spoke to him The only time I ever spoke to Kent Walton directly to his face was on the day of the unmasking. And he came to the dressing room to make sure he totally understood what was going on. And I actually said to him, because I didn't like Kent Walton, because Kent Walton didn't like me. He didn't like Kendo because Kendo bent the rules. He liked the Mick McMichaels and those sort of people who Johnny Saint. He wasn't an American-style commentator where they get excited about the bad guys. He sort of put the bad guys down. Oh, they're breaking the rules. Oh, it'll be good when he can really wrestle. Why doesn't he wrestle? He can actually do it. And that was Kent. Kent tried to play it as though there was no showmanship in it. It was all straight and real. And whether he wanted it to be like that or that's the way he presented it, perhaps he was embarrassed of the showmanship side of it. I don't know. I can't get inside his head. But I got the impression he didn't like me. And when he came to the dressing room this night to fight, I actually said to him, and I'm going to swear, I said, well, don't fuck it tonight, Kent. And that was the only time that I can remember that I ever spoke to him. Just that one time I told him not to fuck it. And he didn't. So he took me on my word. That really brings us to the end of the session. That's the questions for this evening. But don't forget, still got the secret weapon for our Sanjay. I want to use it. Bye for now.